Bitcoin has opened another door at the small level. What impact does this have on the Bitcoin market? If you are interested in this issue, please follow me. Looking at the daily line, we can find that Bitcoin is testing 25,000. At present, well, we are getting closer and closer to 25,000. We can find that in the past, when we were actually in shock in the early stage, that is, after our plunge. We were around 26,000 US dollars and fluctuated until we reached 26,700. We are not close to 25,000 yet. But it can be found that our current market is getting closer and closer to 25,000. The real part of our closing price in the past few days is still gradually decreasing. Even our closing price in the past few days was around 25,500, 600. This is actually the same as ours. When it first fell, there was already a big gap. Then we can compare it. We all hit the support of about 25,000 when we fell. In fact, the two times it went very differently. When we hit 25,000 in the first fall, the middle after he experienced a pull-up, he maintained the same price for a period of time before falling later. But you can find that when we hit 25,000 at this time, the rebound immediately pulled up and then was immediately pushed back. That's okay. It means that there is absolutely no demand here on the market. If there is demand, the price should remain at a relatively high position for a period of time. What we see is that after it rises, it is immediately knocked back until we encounter it again. 25,000, then when we met 25,000, we drew a large door at this location. After the shock, he drew a small door. This small door actually moved in the same way as the previous door. It was both pulled. After the rise, although the second rise was not much, after the rise, we did not make any stop at the high position, which was around 26,300 US dollars, and were immediately pushed back to our original starting point. In fact, it was the same as before. The situation is exactly the same, which means that our demand here has actually been exhausted. It is different from the previous situation. We have seen the process of the long-short game before. But later we can definitely say that the short position has an absolute advantage. Advantages. Let's cut the level a little smaller and cut it to 4 hours. In fact, there are many things worthy of our attention in 4 hours. Although we said that we pulled the market very fiercely yesterday, some friends even said that the bulls will rebound quickly and we will go long next. The market situation is different. Let's look at it from a 4-hour perspective. I think that as long as any of our pull orders does not stabilize at the price of around 26,300 to 400 US dollars in the short term, it doesn't matter how hard it pulls, how fast it goes, or how much it rises. I think it will not help the market very much. We can find that we are at about 26,350 US dollars. It is the early swap, including that we played the role of support in the early stage. Then there is resistance at this position. There is a small swap here. And then we subsequently, you can find that it cannot go up here. Then after testing this position, it is found that it cannot go up. Then we choose to fall back, so it pulls up and then pulls up. It does rise quickly, but it does not cross a very clear and important price. It is around $26,350 and it has not crossed over. If it does, I think we have a chance to fluctuate at this position for a longer time. If we look at the pattern, we actually mentioned to you that we are at this position a few days ago. What he is doing is a very, very classic head and shoulders top. When we are at a daily level, under the background of a short trend, we have a head and shoulders top. This is a very, very bearish signal. We had a small rise here before. As the right shoulder, if we look at the ratio of the left and right shoulders, we can find that they are not quite equal. But after our rise, you can find that the heights of his left and right shoulders are actually equal. You can find that the extent of his increase is not the same. It won't be too different, so it's a bit far-fetched to take this. But after this pull-up, in fact, we think we have found the right shoulder. According to the head and shoulders top, we need to use a short position when it falls below the neckline. Of course, I think if it breaks below 25,000 US dollars, it will be a very big breakthrough. After all, 25,000 US dollars is a very important psychological price. And many people think that the final bottom line for bulls is as long as 25,000 falls below. I believe the bulls will run out of energy because no one will believe that this position is still the center of the rise and will continue to rise. We need a deep correction before we have a better chance. If 25,000 if it is broken, I believe the market will think so. According to the head and shoulders, we must break below before the price breaks through the right shoulder. Otherwise the head and shoulders will be invalid. In fact, the position of the right shoulder is where we can place a stop loss, which is pretty good. The position is actually about $500 away from now. So if we want to be safer, it is actually best to wait for it to break the neckline. In particular, we can pay attention to the previous low. We have tested it 4 times. 4 times, you can find that we are in the front position once, twice, 3 times and the 4th time behind. If we say that the higher the frequency of our tests, the more times we test, the greater the chance we will finally explode. Then we can observe this opportunity together. Next. In fact, we have mentioned in the previous channel that a wedge shape appeared here. This wedge shape did break up. However, you can find that it did not break through a very important price level and fell back down. So from now on it seems that it has completely failed. We can cut the level a little smaller. If we cut it to 1 hour, you can find that the actual situation is still in the process of consolidation. Yesterday, we only made a slight breakthrough. This place has changed again. Small level swaps, but in terms of the general trend, this rise has not changed any trend structure at all. Let's take a look at Ethereum. If we look at Ethereum, we are facing a weekly trend line from the weekly line. I found that I have been exposed to this place once, twice, and 3 times. If we break down from here, I believe we will have the same effect as Bitcoin. When it falls below the weekly trend line, which is to explode directly. So the opportunity to break down here is mine. We'll be very, very careful. Of course, we must have enough volume to match the weekly line. Then we cut to the daily line. And we can find that it currently feels like it is running close to this trend line. You can find the needle tip below, and we can also look up. At about $1,700, he has a swap. This place acts as resistance, and then there is support here, and then here acts as resistance. I think we should not regain our footing back to $1,000 before we break down. Above $700. You can find this place. He has tested this place once. I think that if we continue to break below, we should not return to our level above $1,700 in any form. Especially if the previous high point can be used as the benchmark for our judgment of this wave of market. Of course, if I personally say that if it breaks down, we can wait for an opportunity to break down and go short. Then switch to a small level. In fact, Ethereum did have a pull-up yesterday. There have even been relatively large pins like this before. But the way we organize them is the same. If the price does not regain its foothold above $1,600, then no matter how fast or fierce the market pulls, I will lose it. I think he did not destroy the structure of the entire disk. Thank you very much. If you want to participate in these trading opportunities, you are very welcome. You can click the Bybit link below the video. Now if you are a KYC user, if you are a new user, you only need to make a KYC deposit of $100. No transaction. You can receive $30 in cash. Now it has been changed to $30 in cash. And it will be transferred directly to your wallet. Moreover, you can directly add this $100 to this $30 and withdraw the money directly. No questions asked. You are welcome to click on the link below to get this free bonus cryptocurrency market news. If you don't want to miss the next trading opportunity, please press the subscribe button and turn on the little bell to join the most profitable Bitcoin Chinese channel on YouTube. Thank you everyone. Bye bye.